So is it face up?
Yep.
Top.
Face up and just put it right and then move this back.
So it would be just like that.
Perfect. And then we will zoom in on it.
I may, if I'm asked, I might use it. If I'm not asked, I won't.
You put it there and we'll get it.
Is that Councilmember Stewart? Councilmember Stewart?
Good evening. Welcome to the July 17th, 2023 City Council meetings. And I say that plurally because we have several meetings tonight. We have the Public Housing Authority Commission regular meeting. Then we'll have our regular meeting, and then we'll have a study session. So I'll be gaveling in and out and calling roll call several times here. So let's start off with the Public Housing Authority Commission meeting. Please call the roll.
Chairman Hartkey?
Here.
Vice Chair Orlando?
Here.
Commissioner Loring?
Present.
Commissioner Encinas?
Here.
Commissioner Ellis?
Here.
Commissioner Stewart?
Here.
Commissioner Harris?
Here.
Commissioner Poston?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much, City Clerk. First of all, do we have any unscheduled public appearance from the audience? All right, seeing none, we'll move the consent agenda. We have two items of the consent agenda. I have at least one question, and I didn't see anybody else call in, but it's only two items, the meeting minutes and an agreement. So you got to, real quick. So I know I've been doing this a long time, but the first time I've seen this, or at least looked at it, what are we doing with this consultant?
Sure. Vice Chair Orlando, members of the commission, the item you see before you tonight is for our consulting services for the environmental review. HUD requires that if we spend even $1 of CDBG money or other federal funds, that we must do an assessment as to whether or not there is an environmental impact. So the consultant will do that. We have everything from activities like spending money on staff, which is exempt, of course, but you have to go through the evaluation to show that it is an exempt activity, all the way to a major construction project like we're doing with our Villas on McQueen project.
Okay, so it's just something we have to comply with, and they basically act as a third party to make sure we're complying with the activity, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
And they will work with any local organizations such as the State Historic Office on Preservation or Preservation Office to make sure that there is nothing historic that we will be
Got it.
impacting. And then, of course, on the federal regulations.
All right. Well, any other questions from the commission? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Young.
Thank you. So commission, what's your desire here? We have an item here.
Yeah, well, go ahead. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Oh, go ahead, Commissioner Harris.
Oh, I would like to approve July 17, 2023, 6 p.m. The Public Housing Commission consent agenda items 1 and 2.
I second that.
I have a second from Councilmember Ellis. Commission, please call the voice vote.
Vice Chair Orlando?
Yes.
Commissioner Loring?
Yes.
Commissioner Encinas?
Yes.
Commissioner Ellis?
Yes.
Commissioner Stewart?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Poston,
Yes.
Chairman Harkey.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right. Thank you very much, Commissioner Loring. Thank you for attending your time for this. We certainly appreciate it. And that'll adjourn uh, the Public Housing Authority Commission. And now we'll go to our July 17th regular meeting. And again, we'll have to do a roll call.
Mayor Harkey,
Here.
Vice Mayor Orlando,
Here.
Councilmember Encinas,
Here.
Councilmember Ellis,
Here.
Councilmember Stewart,
Here.
Councilmember Harris,
Here.
Councilmember Poston.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, City Clerk. And now we'll have invocation by Mr. Stu Bruner from Faith Church. Stu's an old friend of mine. Many, many years ago, we worked together. It's good to see you again, sir. And we'll be led by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Ellis. Please rise.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, members. Let's pray. Lord God, you who are the maker of heaven and earth, our creator, our sustainer, in whom we live and move and have our being, who determine the times and boundaries of the nations. Lord, in this month, in July, we stop to praise you for this nation and its legacy of self-government. Lord, we are just mindful of what that has done for us in terms of freedom. We're thankful. We also have responsibility as citizens with that. We recognize that your word states that all authority is from you and all government is a type of authority that is from you. As the wielder of that authority, we praise you for continued self-government by the people, for the people. Would you bless our government officials, Lord, at all levels, federal, state, county, and these here tonight in Chandler. Enable them to have the courage that they need to act on the truth, Lord. Lead them in all truth. Give them wisdom in abundance. I thank you that you say, if any ask for wisdom, you will provide it in abundance. So I ask on behalf of these council members, Lord, I pray for your shalom peace over this gathering, for these meetings, for the study session. Lord, make all those involved equal to the tasks before them. Give them your grace in abundance. And we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Bruner. It's good to see you again. Thank you, Member Councilman Ellis, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Our next part of the item is our consent agenda. We have 5 items on the consent agenda. One of them is meeting minutes, and the other 4 are final adoptions, which we approved initially last council meeting. So, council, what is your desire?
Vice Mayor.
Councilmember Encinas.
Yes, I move to approve the consent agenda of July 17, 2023, regular meeting, items 1 through 5.
I second.
All right. I have a motion by Councilmember Encinas, second by Councilmember Poston. Any questions or comments from the audience? Any questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, council, please vote.
Mayor Harkey,
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, City Clerk. And that will conclude our regularly scheduled meeting. I told you we'd be banging these things in and out, so. All right, let's do a roll call for the study session.
Mayor Harkey,
Yes. Here.
Vice Mayor Orlando,
Here.
Councilmember Encinas,
Here.
Councilmember Ellis,
Here.
Councilmember Stewart,
Here.
Councilmember Harris,
Here.
Councilmember Poston.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. Councilmember Encinas, will you please join me up front? And then City Manager, while we're heading down, you could tell us what's going on.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of the City Council. We do have 3 service recognitions for employees this evening. And to make the first presentation, I'd like to invite our Public Works and Utilities Director, Mr. John Knutson.
Thank you, City Manager, Vice Mayor, council members. Tonight, I'd like to invite Mr. Trent Williams forward to receive his 10-year service recognition. Trent Williams began his employment with the city of Chandler in July of 2014 as a utilities electrician at the Pecos Surface Water Treatment Plant. Trent excelled at his role, spending 4 years performing a thorough job maintaining and upgrading the electrical systems at the plant while building an effective working relationship with staff. In April 2017, Trent was promoted to utility maintenance supervisor, overseeing the city's remote water production sites. Since then, Trent has done an amazing job building his team and ensuring that the city's water wells and booster stations are ready to serve the city's residents with safe and dependable drinking water. Trent is also often called upon to help others across the city with his extensive knowledge on electrical issues and is always ready to assist. His extra work for the city includes solving electrical problems for parks maintenance, solid waste, and the stormwater divisions, but his best work was done one night a year ago or so when he managed to restore the power at the airport tower, the transponders, and the runway lights after an electrical failure. Trent's can-do attitude is contagious, and he continues to inspire those around him to achieve their own success. Trent, thank you for your 10 years of dedication and commitment as a valued employee with the Public Works Utilities Department in the City of Chandler.
Move this way. I'm just following orders. All right. Thank you.
Vice Mayor, members of council, for our next service recognition, I'd like to invite our Assistant Chief of Police, Dave Raymer, to come forward.
City Manager, Mayor, and Council, we're pleased to invite Denise Aguirre to come forward for a 25-year recognition. So Denise has worn many hats since over her 25-year career with the police department. It began in January of 1997, and she started as a volunteer at the department where she assisted detectives with various duties, including public fingerprinting. She also volunteered for a year as a motorist assist. In addition, she's worked in both the lab and records divisions. While serving in the lab, she became a 10-print operator where she enjoyed assisting with criminal investigations. She also helped train our new officers on how to use our live scan and mug pick machines. You may have trained me, I don't know. She currently works in the records division where she has been since August of 2015. Denise's duties and responsibilities include efficiently and accurately entering confidential information into the national database, including stolen vehicles, missing persons, stolen guns, and wanted persons. She provides excellent customer service to the public at both the front counter and over the phone. As a seasoned employee, she is often relied upon to assist with training new hires. In addition to these duties, Denise takes it upon herself to review the current orders of protections to ensure that entry and attempts for service have been documented correctly. Denise has a passion for the deaf community. She lobbied for additional training and assistance, which resulted in classes from the Arizona Commission of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing for police employees, as well as getting a voyance tablet provided to the police department lobby to assist the deaf and hard of hearing community with translations at the front counter. She enjoys engaging with the public and being able to assist as much as possible and embodies the City of Chandler's customer connection philosophy and is always welcoming. Denise, thank you for your many years of dedicated service. We're very proud to have you here. Thank you.
Move over a little bit.
Vice Mayor, members of council, for our final service recognition this evening, I'd like to invite forward Matt Burdick, our Communications and Public Affairs Director.
Save the applause for Heather here. Heather. Thank you, Vice Mayor, City Manager, Council. I'd like to invite Heather Figueroa to please come forward. So Heather started with us, I think she was probably 6 years old. But seriously, Heather's one of our success stories. She started as a COE student from Chandler High School, working in public works and at the Chandler Airport. She made a strong impression and was brought on full-time in development services as a clerk and a permit representative. Up for a challenge and learning new ways to serve our city, Heather moved to economic development in 2002, providing executive, management, and research assistance for 12 years. And then in 2014, Heather moved to the mayor and council office. Her organizational and people skills made her a perfect fit for the fast-paced, intricate work that she continues to perform. She quickly gained relationships based on trust and professionalism with the members of the city council. She also has worked in the city clerk's office from 2019 to 2021 as a management assistant. Heather is an integral part of the mayor and council office, supporting members of the city council and fulfilling the many responsibilities of the office. Heather is a consummate professional, a continuous learner with an extensive knowledge of the city. Heather, thank you for 30 years of service to the residents of Chandler, and here's to many more.
Kent, you good over there? All right.
Wait a minute, the husband want a picture. Hold up, the husband want a picture. Husband, did you want to get a picture?
Kent.
We got it.
You got it. All right.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor and council, that concludes our service recognitions this evening.
Well, it seems like the theme tonight is airport. We've had a couple of airport incidents and our activities going. Heather started the airport, and then we had one-way lights, and now we're going to have a proclamation for Chandler Municipal Airport Appreciation Month. I'd like to call up Airport Senior Manager Ryan Reeves and Airport Commissioner Vice Chair Sky McCorkle, another good old friend, neighbor. Man, it must be, what is it? Yeah.
It's been more than 30 years.
Exactly. Come on up here. So I promised Councilmember Cenas I would read the proclamation, so I'll do it tonight. Not that he can't read, he didn't want to do it. That's fine. Let the record show. All right. Whereas the city of Chandler has maintained the Chandler Municipal Airport, KCHD. That's our airport's call sign. Thank you. I should have known as a controller, right? Yeah. For 75 years as a central part of the state and the nation's aviation network, and whereas the city of Chandler has a significant interest in the continued vitality and growth of general aviation, aircraft manufacturing, aviation educational institutions, aviation organizations, and community airports, and whereas general aviation in Arizona accounts for $3.3 billion in economic activity, supports nearly 19,000 jobs, and $1.1 billion in sales and wages. And whereas the Chandler Municipal Airport represents a diverse and important public benefit, utilizing rapid, safe, and efficient on-demand air transportation to and from communities of all sizes across the country into our city. And now, therefore, Kevin Harkey, Mayor of Chandler, do hereby proclaim the month July 23rd as Chandler Municipal Airport Appreciation Month. Do you want to say any words?
Yeah.
Come on,
There we go. Hold that up there. Well, Mr. Vice Mayor and Mr. Mayor, as you're listening, it is my deepest and humblest honor to accept this on behalf of the Chandler Airport Commission and the Chandler Airport staff, the tenants, the businesses, all the aviators that call Chandler home. and also those citizens and businesses that have supported Chandler Municipal Airport throughout the years. And finally, I just want to accept it also on behalf of those people who are no longer with us, but who dedicated their life to ensure that the Chandler Municipal Airport would be our gateway to the sky for this generation and many to come.
Yes.
So thank you very much on behalf of everyone.
Thank you, sir. And this guy's been our commission for a long time, and 12 years. And we certainly appreciate all you've done for our airport. Thank you. You're good? Yeah. Okay, let's get a picture.
You want to bring everybody?
Why not? Yeah, come on up, guys.
Staff, everybody, come on. We brought a contingent.
Get you all in there. Where's Mr. Smith?
So I must be doing it right. She didn't tell us to move, so that was great. After the third time, I think I got a charm. Oh, I see. Thank you, council member. All right, let me get my glasses on here. Okay, the next recognition, the 2023 Healthy Arizona Worksite Program Platinum Level. I'd like to call up Employee Wellness and Engagement Coordinator Lisa Maneri and Human Resource Manager Fernanda Curio, right? Did I get that? I apologize. Let you hold that. So, congratulations, exciting, great job. So let me just get a little bit here, make sure what's going on here, all right? Correct. If I'm incorrect, let me know. All right. All right. The Health Arizona Worksite Award recognition employers that are making evidence-based efforts to support the health and well-being of employees. So far, we're good. This team, our team, went above and beyond the earning the Platinum Award level. That means they successfully address community health challenges and leverage partnerships and collaborations to improve health. And there are too many programs to share tonight, but here are just a few examples of the tremendous work that this group of individuals has done. On-site blood pressure screening, vision test, organ screening, citywide campaigns like the STEPS Challenge and the Hydration Challenge, which is going on right now. Okay. So final congratulations to our talented human resources team for doing such a great job. You certainly earned the recognition. Want to say a few words?
I think you pretty much summed it up, but I'm honored to accept this award on behalf of HR and the entire City of Chandler employee population for making this happen. And especially we got very high marks for organizational support. So I think we couldn't have done it without the City of Chandler support for this. So thank you.
So quick question, is Platinum the highest you go? Oh, perfect. We're at top. All right. I was going to say, get the next award next year. You ready? Yep. A lot of pressure. All right, let's take a picture.
Make it happen.
All right, I think that takes care of our final. Let's go. Thank you, council member.
Another week. Just
All right, we are rocking and rolling. All right, now we'll go to our study session. These items were called in earlier from some of the council members here and asking staff to further information or questions that they might have. So for the first item, I have item number 2, which was called in by me. Anyway, I've asked staff to give us a presentation because this is something I know a lot of us in our community are looking forward to. Chandler led the Valley and solar projects many years ago. And now we have the contract here to continue working forward from some solar energy projects. So staff, please give us a presentation.
Thank you, Vice Mayor and Mayor. Thank you for this presentation today. This agenda item is really to begin the evaluation process on how we can, and how solar might work at our various city facilities. And the conversation around this really started around 35 acres of vacant land south of our airport water reclamation facility, which is also our biggest user, energy user in the city. So putting ground mounted solar in that parcel of land would help offset a significant amount of energy that's consumed in that facility. So while this facility is the main focus of this study, we do want to do a comprehensive evaluation on how solar can impact various city facilities. And while we may not put solar at each site that is listed in the contract, we do want to do a comprehensive evaluation and see what would work best financially for the city and where to put these and what sites are best and what provides the best amenities for our employees and residents as far as shaded parking with solar. And I anticipate that this evaluation will take about a month or two. And after that, we'll begin the engineering phases and everything else that will actually begin to help get the solar in the ground and running. So we are also evaluating how we want to finance this solar, whether it's through a solar service agreement or where it's the panels are owned by a third party and we would purchase the energy at a discounted rate from that party, or potentially owning these solar panels outright, which would be made possible by the 30% tax credit from the Inflation Reduction Act. So all those things will be evaluated as part of this study. And we really just want to make sure that we find the best solution that works out financially for the city and how we can accomplish our goal to reduce our energy consumption and increase our energy production.
Excellent.
Any questions?
So Steve, just got a follow-up question. Number one, this 18-month project, what I heard you say about a month and a half, 2 months to do the inventory, which about what, 25 sites, something like that?
Yeah, about approximately, yes.
And then as we go along, we'll pick the low-hanging fruit, ones that we think we get funded earlier rather than later. So we're not going to wait for the 18 months and then start project developing, right?
No, the hope is after this month, this initial phase, this initial month or two, we'll be able to really deep dive on what sites work best and move forward with those sites and move forward. Yes.
Perfect. And then finally, is the downtown included in this, or is that a separate study we have to look at additionally?
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor. It would be additional on top of this one, so it's not included in the list of projects or facilities that are named in this contract, but it's something that we can certainly amend over time or evaluate over time.
All right, we'll look forward to that discussion in the future. So City Manager, look forward to that one. And any other questions for Steve? Okay. Oh, I have a question over here from the Councilmember Ellis.
Thank you. Mr. Turner, I know that one of the thing that people always question is the fact that they get the panels and then they harvest the electricity and then it goes to the companies, but they don't either use it themselves and they don't get credit for it. Is this something that the city is looking into, making sure that whatever we harvest, we get to use it and process it here?
Yes, Vice Mayor and Councilmember Ellis, these panels will be tied in directly into our systems. So whatever is produced on site will be used on site. And so that's all part of the evaluation. We really don't want to make sure it's a balancing act. We don't want to produce too much energy where it goes back into the grid where we don't benefit from it. So it's really evaluating, and that's what this study will do. They'll evaluate our current energy use and our future energy use so they can correctly size the panels for each individual site.
Great. Oh, Councilmember Sinas.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Mr. Turner, really quickly, out of the 25 different potential sites where we might be using solar, do we have a specific goal as how many we do potentially want to complete as using solar at these locations, or what is our minimum there?
Yes, Mr. Vice Mayor and Councilmember Encinas, we're going to let the data dictate that to us. It's about making a smart financial decision when it comes to this, and really make sure it's scaled to the accurate size and in each situation we want to. Of course, we want to try to do as many as possible. And when we originally set out to do this RFP, it was a much smaller list. And after conversing with the contractor Amoresco, we decided that we wanted to open up for a lot more sites to see how we can get the best bang for the buck for the city of Chandler.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilmember Harris.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I have just a couple of questions. My first question is, City of Chandler does have some aging infrastructure in our city. Some of our buildings are relatively old, and wondering the solar impact in terms of the electricity use. Would that also look at that aging infrastructure to see if it's even compatible for such a solar panel, or is there is a such thing of non-compatibility? I don't know if you can let me know that answer. And then the second question, what you answer that first question, then I'll ask the
Okay,
second
yeah.
question.
Vice Mayor, Councilmember Harris. Yeah, that's all part of the study. So they want to see compatibility and how it works at each site. If there's an aging roof where it may not make sense to put solar on a roof, they're gonna determine that. If there's energy efficiencies that we can make in the future to reduce our energy consumption, that's going to be considered on how those panels are going to be fitted for those sites. Because again, you don't want to produce too much solar, so it's a big algorithm that really the contractor Amoresco is going to be doing to see how they can best size the solar panels for each particular site.
Also, my last question is, the city has intergovernmental agreements with organizations that use our facility. I wanted to know how will we work, like for i.e. the Chandler Center of the Arts, we have an intergovernmental agreement with the Chandler Unified School District. How will we work with our partners that we have intergovernmental agreements with to cite, or would those sites be excluded?
So right now, the Center for the Arts isn't included in that in this first phase of this project, but I think that's the evaluations and the negotiations for those intergovernmental agreements will probably take place in a future time as we determine which sites are the best sites for these panels and how they work best, and so those types of agreements will be forthcoming if needed.
I really would like, city manager, I really would like us to look into our partnership with CUSD. I really would like to see how that can work with Chandler Center of the Arts and see if we can work together to see about having the person who's doing the study, because we 50-50 that Chandler Center of the Arts, and I would like to see what we can do if they're open for that discussion. So if you can let us know and get back with council to let us know if that works out, that'd be great.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, city manager's nodding his head yes, so we're good. Any other questions to council? Steve, thank you. All right. Item 9, ordinance, this is a development agreement to the city of Chandler and JEMBJACD LLC partnership. Councilmember Poston had a question, and I just have a statement.
Yeah, thank you, Vice Mayor. I think the first question is how do you pronounce the developer's name, probably, but
I think I
that's okay. No, I was really just, it's always exciting to get a new project in downtown Chandler. This is a former city property, and we always need to be good stewards of our city property and make sure that we're getting the best development possible. So I do have a couple of questions, but you probably will answer them during your presentation. And this has been a while coming. It's been a couple of years. And so I'd love to just hear an overview of kind of the process that's happened and what we can expect on that property.
Great. Vice Mayor, Council, tonight we're here to talk about the development agreement at 200 and 210 South Oregon Street. This is at the southwest corner of Oregon Street and Chicago Street and is just shy of a half an acre. It is city-owned property that we've had since 2006, and that site is currently vacant. It's also part of our entertainment district. And finally, part of the future growth area in the South Arizona Avenue corridor area plan. We did take this to an executive session to City Council, who directed staff to prepare an RFP for this property as a catalyst for redevelopment that we were seeing in this area. Staff did prepare and issue that RFP, and within that, we did ask for an urban project that could include retail, restaurant, or entertainment uses, but did prohibit any multifamily use. We also asked that any design be directed and activity be directed towards Chicago and Oregon Street to be very mindful and sensitive to all of the surrounding neighbors. This did go through a selection committee, and ultimately the development agreement before you is for the Swashbuckler food hall and public house. The terms of that development agreement does sell the property at appraised value with a clawback provision that if for any reason that it does not develop in the way that we think it should or the outlined timelines, that we can purchase the property back at the same price. It also outlines it must be a two-story building that will consist of at least 15,000 square feet of mixed use of restaurant and retail uses. And it also has some deadlines for rezoning, permitting, and commencement of any construction. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, but we also have a couple of our developers, Jeremy McClymans, in the background, in the back, that can come and talk a little bit more about the project if you like, and he's here to answer questions too.
Thank you, Ms. Moyers. Councilmember Colson.
I'll start off with the one more specific probably that you can answer. The parking is pretty much going to be directly, they're very fortunate in where the parking is.
Yes.
And they can all park, and I know you've been keeping an eye on parking. It can accommodate all of that use there.
Vice Mayor, Councilmember Poston, yes, we do have the Oregon Street parking garage. We just recently completed a parking study to make sure that we still have the capacity that we need. But I think you'll find out from Jeremy and his team that they also have some very creative ideas for some opportunities for pickup and delivery that they'll utilize at their own site as well.
And then this might be for our partners here. I guess I'd like a little detail on what the project's going to look like. I think a food hall is a unique concept. Also making sure that we're distinguishing, this is not a food court, this is a food hall. Also notice that in the development agreement, there was some specific language around the types of restaurants could go there. Could you speak to that a little bit?
I absolutely can, and then I will invite Jeremy to come up to talk about the project. But to your point, Councilmember Poston, it's not what you would see in a typical mall. It is going to be 6 to 12 different restaurants, but they'll be very unique and local and what would be more appropriate for the downtown. And there's been a lot of conversation about what that would look like. And Jeremy can speak more to that with some of his concepts, but we did outline that in the development agreement.
Those were my questions, Vice Mayor. So I don't know if we would like them to come up or if you have other questions.
Well, do you want more details? Are you okay with?
No, I do, but I didn't know if you'd like to.
No,
if we want them
I have
bouncing
no
back and
problem
forth.
with protocol. We can break
Okay.
protocol.
No, if
you want to,
you would like to come up and maybe give us an idea of what that is, I'd love to hear more about it and what a food hall. I believe I've been to a concept similar to this in California, correct?
California, that's right.
And it's kind of exciting.
It's not Trader Joe's.
No.
It's not Trader Joe's.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you, Councilmember Jeremy. Go ahead, Former.
Mayor and Council, thanks for having us. My name is Jeremy McClymans. This is my partner, Jackson Armstrong. We're excited to be here tonight to tell you about our project. Kim reached out to me last week and said, hey, can you come and give a presentation? And I asked her, how long do I have? And she said, you have time for a brief presentation. I said, great, I only need 45 minutes.
No, you won't. No, you won't. You've been here a couple minutes. Go ahead, press.
So I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. But we absolutely are excited about this project. So I'm going to give you a little history. In the history, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our team. So in 2019, late 2019, MJ Reevely, he's one of our partners. He owns several gyms in the East Valley, one in Chandler, several in Washington. He reached out to me and said, hey, I want to do something in downtown Chandler. And I said, hey, there's this windmill food hall out in Carlsbad, California that I think if we could emulate something like that in downtown Chandler, it would be something unique and fresh that we bring to the area. And he's like, I'm on board. So we started looking. And the key to this project, in our opinion, was it's got to be the right site. And we have to have enough square footage to deliver the product we want to build. And so we started looking. We met with city staff. We had some discussions on a few sites. And then 2020 hit, COVID hit, and this became a back burner. And for multiple reasons, MJ's in the gym business, gyms closed. I'm in the finance business, market sold off 30% in 22 days. We got sidetracked. Towards the end of 2020, Jackson reached out to me and he said, hey, I heard you're doing something, wants to do something in downtown Chandler. And I told him about the food hall, and he's like, I'm on board. And for those of you that don't know Jackson owns a couple restaurants in Chandler. It's a new restaurant or new bar in Scottsdale. And so the exciting part about bringing Jackson on board is he covers the food end of it from that experience. And then the last partners that we brought on board is Carlos, Danny, and Brian. They own Pemix Contracting. And so we brought them in as actual partners, and they're actually going to build the project itself. So we're completely contained project. What we agreed upon in the development agreement was 15,000 square feet, 7,500 lower level, 7,500 sky deck. Our intent, though, is to maximize what we can build. We just wanted the lower number because we weren't sure what we can use on some uses. And one of the things that Councilmember Poston asked about is parking. So we're not going to have on-site parking. We're definitely going to use the garage that's directly across the street. But what we are going to use, and while we don't know the answer for 100%, and backing up on Friday, we met with Kim Morris, Lauren, and Kevin, and David to get the wheels churning with anticipation of this week's vote, and so we can get moving. But what can we do on the back part of the parcel, the alleyway and whatnot? And we envision, based on that initial conversation, that we're going to have a query for Uber Eats, DoorDashes, pickup and drop off that runs on the north side on Oregon Street, and it's kind of those flow throughs, probably 3 or 4 flow through parking stalls to address that type of scenario. We're a food hall. We are going to have 6 to 12 concepts, and we want people to take advantage of takeaway too. So from a perspective of the project, our original inspiration was Windmill Food Hall. Jackson went out and met the owner. They had several discussions. The owner was very giving. We emulated our entire concept based on what they're doing out there. But in time, what makes this project more exciting is we've had more inspiration. And so I included, let's see, a couple slides in here. So Assembly Food Hall, it's in Nashville. Awesome food hall. I visited it myself. There is a little bit more corporate feel to this food hall, but inside there's a lot of cool elements that we want to draw into this concept. And then more so, we love Avanti food and beverage in Denver and in Boulder. A lot of what we're going to emulate and what you see in these exact photos is what we're going to draw in. But the concepts that are hard and a hard line of what we want to deliver is on Oregon and Chicago, the north facing Chicago and East Oregon is going to be open air, lower level, open air, all roll ups. So it feels like you're outside and enjoying the incredible weather we have that's not now. And then the upper deck's going to be a sky deck, open air upper deck, completely covered, but it will be open air. And again, open facing. The back will be blocked off primarily for sound attenuation for our neighbors, so we can be good neighbors.
How much, Councilmember, sorry,
Yeah, no problem.
Jeremy, how much more time do you have there?
Oh, like I can be quick.
No, I just
I'm only a couple more minutes.
That's fine. You bet.
I was trying to give high level, but
No.
trying to describe, and Councilmember Poston said food court. So trying to describe until you've been to one of these is hard to describe. And so we are not a mall food court serving common food. We provide a diverse restaurant mecca serving common food on commonly well. We are not a sports bar, but we are a gathering spot. We'll have wall-to-wall televisions broadcasting every sport every day. We're not a club, but we will offer live music and entertainment multiple days per week. We're not a conference center, but we have a stellar venue with event space to host your next business meeting, birthday, wedding, bar mitzvah, community activity, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of how I would try to describe what we're trying to emulate. I included some interior renderings. Again, these are from almost 2 years ago. And so there's a lot of inspiration. There's a lot of what we want here, but it's evolving into something that I think is going to be really special for the area.
Perfect.
And you see some exterior renderings. Project timeline, I'll speak to that. these are our goals. We want to first quarter 2024 break ground. That's our goal, and we want to have a grand opening late 2024.
Okay.
If we can do it faster, we will, but that's probably where we're going to land.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah.
No, I did have one question. So this is very exciting. Like I said, I've been to a concept like this. One, Jackson, I'm hoping that you have a concept or two in there. And then my question would be, do you have a couple of ideas of restaurants that might actually go in? Are these kind of incubating restaurants? It seems like there's a lot of opportunity for some new things, some new ideas.
So the cart before the horse has been the hardest thing. Yes, we've had side conversations with verbal commitments, and we do have a short list already that are probably ready to sign without giving away some of that specialness. We'll definitely have a pizza concept, which I know we already have pizza, but it is a cool pizza concept. We'll have burgers, probably something in the health space, might be like poke bowl type space. We are going to try to bring in a few concepts that don't exist in the downtown area. But one of the coolest things about a food hall, for a couple reasons, and it was kind of what I was going to close with, is so it's business welcoming. So those that have a short lunch, you can go get food quickly and affordably. That's awesome. You can also have business meetings because we'll have space for that. It's family friendly. You bring out your family. My grandkids are super picky, but you could get pizza for one and a poke bowl for the other. So you have flexibility and diversity in the menu. Sociable entertainment. We really are going to push the entertainment envelope and do a lot of different things. And neighborly nightlife. But 365 days a year. You have anything?
Yeah, one to kind of touch on Jane said here is it creates a little bit of opportunity for someone that doesn't have the capital to come into an expensive brick and mortar for a restaurant.
Right.
It gives them kind of an entryway in a lower capital requirement to get into something. So we're opening it to that, and hopefully some new blood will come in with that will help them grow their business too. So
that's great.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
All right, Councilmember Harris.
Thanks, Vice Mayor. I've been to a concept like this, and it's absolutely impressive. Like, the ambiance, the people. I mean, all different types of people. My only question is, just for my two Yorkies that's just sitting at home waiting for me to come home, will you have some type of small area for the little baby dogs?
my concept, we are dog friendly. So
All right, boom, sold. Thank you.
Sounds like a yes vote just for the dogs. All right. Councilmember Ellis. All right.
Yes. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Well, this is truly a dream come true as far as this whole project is concerned. It's to show you that if it's for you, no matter what happened. I know in the beginning of it, you guys wanted it, and then things happened, and then now it turns full circle back to you again. I appreciate the fact that you remain into the saddle and you state to us very clearly, I'm committed. I love the fact that this is a homegrown kind of like business because you both are very vested in Chandler. So we're looking forward to see that being developed and really bringing more downtown and increasing the visibility. The thing that we really appreciate is the fact that it's going to be a destination place. People can just come and spend time and do the other things and still be there. Thank you again, former council member, and just thank you. Say hi to your lovely wife, and I know you guys are going to work very hard to make this thing happen. So I really appreciate you guys saying yes to it right now.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Ellis.
Councilmember
Councilmember Cenas.
Really quickly. Exciting.
No problem.
You know
but
what,
we're good,
Mr. I just want you to know we open up a can of worms here,
Yes,
just for you two. All right.
No, you guys kind of just touched base on the question that I had right now. Jackson, you kind of mentioned it as far as like bringing in new businesses or potential restaurants in the capital. It's going to be far less than having to build a whole brick and mortar. Are you guys already going to have those spaces like pre-built already for them? Or are you guys waiting for these potential businesses, restaurants to come in and build their portion of that to be a part of you guys?
go ahead.
So part of the buy-in will include a certain level of TI. the core details that most restaurants will need. And then over and above that, they'll pay for their key customization TI.
Gotcha.
And one of the things that we're also excited about is Jackson's relationship with the Food Network. And one of the designers that does a lot of work is going to be involved with each one of our concepts to really give everybody a really special feel.
Very nice, very nice. I do have one more question, but I think
Go
this
ahead.
might be for Kim. Is Kim
All right,
still here?
so
Oh, here she is.
thank you, Jeremy Jackson.
guys.
Appreciate it.
We
So
good?
Kim, come on up. Yeah, you
Thank you.
Kim,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. You did address it a little bit as far as when you guys were creating the details regarding the space and ensuring that whether it's music or events, entertainment is going to be directed out towards the north end and not towards the existing neighborhoods. I was not part of council back when this happened, but was there any outreach to the neighborhoods? Did we get any feedback from anyone in the neighborhood regarding this type of project in the future? Or will there be an outreach coming?
Councilmember Encinas, this project will have to go through P&Z and will come back to you for council. So it'll have to go through the neighborhood meetings and all the neighbors will have an opportunity to come. We want to make sure it's very inviting for the neighborhood, that it's a compliment to the neighborhood. And even when we're talking about the 2 solid walls, we want to make sure that's attractive for the neighbors too. So we'll work really hard to make sure that it's incorporated into the area.
Okay, great. I just wanted the neighborhood input. We're in this together.
Absolutely.
So thank you for addressing that.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Moyers. Kim, appreciate it. Okay. The only comment I had on that, city manager, is the appraisal value. I know it's 2 years old. Let's take a look at that. Maybe work with the city attorney. You know, I think it could go up, could go down, but I think it's probably should be more closer. We do appraisals on this type of property, a little bit closer to the time we sell it. Okay. All right. We may lose on some, we may win on them, but at least in this case, that was the only comment. Appreciate that. All right, so item number 10, fiber network. This is another exciting project. I think the residents of Chandler, this is a good chunk of dollars, but it's really worth what we're trying to do here. So give us a couple-minute briefing, and then I have just one quick question.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, Council. Happy to give you a brief presentation on this project, everybody's favorite subject, fiber optic cables. So this project stems from a 2020 master plan and audit that the city performed to lay out a 10-year strategy of what the city needs to do to maintain, enhance, and upgrade our fiber optic network to ensure connectivity, redundancy, and efficiency between points of presence around the community. So what we have here are 11 different projects identified as part of this plan update. They generally fall into 5 different buckets: upgrades, being conduit, vault upgrades, redundancy on switches coming in and out of cabinets, traffic communication upgrades. A lot of our citywide conduit that's in the ground is used for transportation purposes between signals, the transportation facilities, so people watching cameras, so all that communication can take place in a timely manner, as well as upgrades to Fire Station 2, some of the conduit out there. The best part of this is 100% of the project is being funded through American Rescue Plan Act dollars, so it's not general funded, and it's really a commitment to residents and our businesses, our public and private partners benefit from these upgrades. We're oversizing conduit, we're building additional conduit, and we're doing it in an efficient manner that lays out a thoughtful approach to development where we're not tearing up roads twice when we're going back and forth. So what staff has before you in this contract really allows us to execute further on the plan that council adopted in 2020.
So the only question I have, and this is a great project, I know the timing on this, that's in the briefing. Will we have more of these, or this is the last of them?
Vice Mayor, council members, there will be more upgrades coming through the fiber master plan. We're breaking it down into digestible chunks that align with other projects going on.
All right, so what are we looking at, another 4 or 5 years worth of these projects?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Easily 5 more years.
Any comments from the council? Thank you, Micah.
Absolutely.
Nope, wait, no, we're good. Thank you, Michael.
All right.
All right. Item number 17, health screenings for police department. Councilmember Ellis and myself called this in. I'll yield to Councilmember Ellis after we have the briefing. And Here he comes. I just want to say, as you're walking up, this is very exciting, long time coming.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we certainly appreciate you guys acting on this quickly, so.
Yeah,
good.
we're grateful and excited about it. So absolutely. So a little background on this. Studies, as you know, show that in law enforcement, officers have a shorter lifespan than the general U.S. population. And the leading contributor is heart disease. So this is a result of continuous stress associated with a prolonged career in law enforcement. This health screening for our officers will provide an opportunity for early detection of heart disease, as well as other related health conditions associated with that. Employees' health and wellness is a priority of the city of Chandler and the police department, and this is yet another example that demonstrates that to our employees. The health screening program was developed specifically to address health risks associated with first responders. The screenings will incorporate blood work, vascular imaging, as well as cardiopulmonary exercise testing. Once the officers go through the screening, they'll have a much better understanding of their metabolic health, and then they can address any concerns that are identified.
Councilmember, question?
Thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Chief, I understand that this is not mandatory and everybody is at, they're at lib, they can come for it or not. But what I wanted to do today is take a moment as you stand here to talk publicly, truly to encourage every single one of our police men and women to take advantage of this part of their health and take control over it. And I lost my son in September. I, 2 years ago, this is going to be the third year from a massive heart attack. Healthy, nobody knew that he was sick, and it was a congenital thing none of us were aware of. And so this type of screening available to our police men and women truly said that Chandler is putting them at the top of our priorities and that we're looking into investing in them, not only into a paycheck, not only into their pension, but we really want longevity for them so that they can enjoy their families when they retire or when they decide that they don't want to do this anymore. So it's important for them. I will encourage them and actually really implore them right now to take advantage of this screening, because we're not doing it just for the heck of it or just because we can. We're doing it because it's important to do and that they need to take advantage of that. I can't stress that enough. So thank you again for continuing to push this for us to be able to provide it now. I want to thank Mayor and Council for saying yes to this, and City Manager and all of us who work on this to push it through to make sure that they have access to it. And right now, when you have access, you have to take that access. If anything happened, then later on you can't say, well, I should have, I could have, right now is the time to take advantage as soon. I would love to see a line standing up out to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
And if they don't, you give me a call. As a nurse, I'm coming down on them.
I
Thank
hear
you,
you.
Chief.
No, thank you very
Appreciate
much.
you.
We appreciate the support,
Appreciate
and
you.
it is vital. So
Appreciate
thank you.
you.
Thank you, Councilmember Ellis. Anyone else? Oh, Councilmember Poston, go ahead.
I just wanted to dovetail a little bit on what Councilmember Ellis was saying. Is there a plan to sort of roll this out? Does this just get integrated into into annual checkups? How are you going to let those officers know that this is now available to them and encourage them to take it without, having Councilmember Ellis bring the hammer down? So, although she can do it.
I know she can. We've already rolled out the first phase, which is 100 slots, and we have 50 of those filled at this point.
Excellent.
So they'll start the blood screening end of July, and then they'll proceed into August with the imaging and the testing, the cardio testing. And then we have a second phase that'll come in the fall. And we have a total of 312 slots. So we're encouraging it. We know younger officers come into they're not thinking about this down the road. So we do a lot of education and training to let them know. Unfortunately, I have 2 friends that retired and shortly thereafter had heart attacks and died. And you want them to enjoy that retirement that they earned and be with their families. But so we're pushing it right now. It's 50 signed up. I think it opened up 2 weeks ago or a week and a half, something like that. So that's a good start. So and we're pushing it. I haven't signed up yet, but
No. Lead by example.
I know. Well, I wanted to wait because they have 100, so I thought, give the opportunity to the others first, and then, but I'll get in there at the end. So
yeah, please,
All right.
please.
Well, thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
All
Councilmember
right.
Post, Councilmember Ellis. Good words and encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Okay, item number 22 is called in by Councilmember Ellis, SRP well drilling agreement. And let's clarify what's being done with the consultant. John, our water guru.
Well, I've never used Elmo before, so bear with me.
Let's see, there we go. You got it.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor Orlando and Councilmember Ellis. This evening, we have resolution before us to approve a construction agreement between Salt River Project and the City of Chandler for yet another shared well that the City of Chandler will share with the Salt River Project. On the map that you see in front of you, we have several wells. The newest well will be the one just east of Arizona Avenue at a site directly adjacent to the Western Canal. The shared wells program has been in effect with Salt River Project for probably the last 30 years. Chandler has done everything we can to take advantage of it. We get our wells drilled in partnership with the city, with Salt River Project for about half the initial cost of the drilling. They also, for us to drill a well today and equip a well, we would be well into the $3 to $4 million range. I'm very surprised at the prices that I'm seeing in this contract are even less than the 50% number. So tremendous deal for us. Beyond the initial first cost that these wells, that the wells are with this summer project, they also equip the well for free to us. They pay for that. They also pay for the maintenance of the well. They also pay for the electricity value to get the water to surface. So if you're pumping a well, you have to lift that water from several hundred feet below ground. So they're paying for a good portion of the electricity as well. So there's tremendous benefits for the city. And we take advantage of a shared well with Salt River Project every chance we get. So this is just a continuation of that program.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I mean, there's no saying that they are very good partners. I mean, 30 years with them, but what we understand right now is that water is gold at this time, and so we have to really protect the people of Chandler and protect the city in any type of contract. I did have a conversation with our attorney this afternoon concerning the contract and everything, because we are not going to walk into any contract, even though we had prior contracts with them where they perform well. So did we? And we always come to the table very much with good intention and everything else. But employees leave, employees comes back. So it's always different people that we have to deal with. So I wanted to make sure that the people of Chandler is hearing the fact that we are doing our due diligence and making sure that in this whole contract that it's a win-win, nobody's going to be losing, and that we are really putting ourselves in a position where to diversify our portfolio. And so thank you again for always working in the best interest of the city. My main question to you at this time is that once we sign the contract, when is it that we start performance of everything? Is there the deadline, a timeline? I know that we talked about it a little bit into our one-on-one city manager.
Well, Councilmember Ellis, it has been a commitment from SRP that once this contract is signed, that we will be on the top of their list as priority.
Okay.
So we are being told that they will begin construction next year.
All
As you
right.
can imagine, in this time of water shortage, drillers are hard to find.
Yeah.
And so SRP, since they have a very large drilling contract and so many wells that they drill and maintain, they have preference, which is good. If we were to try to go out and hire a driller for a big project like this, we may not be as fortunate because we wouldn't have the draw that SRP does.
Yeah.
So I think we actually get a little bit of a preference as far as getting this thing installed sooner. And we will be working with SRP to drive that schedule every day, because this particular location for us is extremely important. You'll see the two yellow dots there. Those both are new wells that we're putting online with SRP in the very near future. And both of those wells are in the northern part of town. And for us, that part of town is very important to us to get new well water too.
Yeah.
So this is an extremely important project to us, and we'll drive them as quickly as we can to completion.
Last question is that anytime we dig in traffic, they're going to be road resurfacing, digging, and pushing things around. Is that going to be an impediment for those who are on our streets?
Fortunately, unlike most of my projects, this one is tucked away in a very small facility. Uh, I doubt anyone will even know it's happening, to be honest.
That's good
So,
to hear. Music to our ears.
yeah,
Thank
mine
you.
too.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you, John, Mr. Knudsen. Appreciate it. All right, last item is EPA grant. Um, Actually, I have just one quick question on the EPA grant, John. You're doing that. Yeah, this is for the, I know we've had some contracts for meter readers. Is this something similar to that or something different? Help me understand what we're doing here. It's Environmental Protection Agency grant for the 990,000 for meter infrastructure project.
Uh, Vice Mayor, this particular contract is, or resolution, is for the approval with the Environmental Protection Agency for a grant of $990,000. This one is a little bit complicated as to how the money is coming to us. We received a congressional directed spending authority from Greg Stanton's office through the federal
Right.
through the federal process. We received that, I'm going to say, over a year ago. When we got that authority,
Okay,
we were then directed to the EPA to actually fill out the paperwork and then go to the EPA and seek the grant. So that's what you see here before you
Got it.
tonight
All right.
is that application to the EPA to get the grant that was authorized through the Congress.
Got it.
It's a very long process that I think.
All right, so it's the same project we talked about
It is.
a year or so ago, only this is just coming back to be approval.
It absolutely is, and it's tied to our advanced metering infrastructure, which
Right.
is where we'll be reading all of our water meters automatically, and then all that will tie in to our billing infrastructure and ultimately a portal for all of our residents where they can look at their phone and they can actually see their water usage on a daily basis, and that the intent with that is to aid or advance conservation through awareness of, residents' awareness of their water use on a daily basis. So hopefully we can drive conservation efforts to a new level.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you very much, John. Appreciate it. Any other questions, items that weren't called in? All right, council, seeing none. We have a study session on Thursday at 4:30. John, you'll be the main character on that one, I'm assuming, with wastewater, water, solid waste, all those great stuff. And then we have an action item on that as well, approving that contract on Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Any other questions from the council? With that, let's close our meetings. Have a good evening.